Hello, everyone. I am here to read you a story today, and I'm so excited because it is my favorite book. It's called Ada Twist Scientist, and I just love this story, and I hope you like it too. It's by Andrea Beaty and illustrated by David Roberts. Oh, there's a kitty. It says Ada Twist Scientist. Ada Marie, said not a word till the day she turned 3. She bounced in her crib and looked all around, observing the world but not making a sound. She learned how to climb and made her big break, with a trail of chaos left in her wake. She ran through the day, chasing each sound in sight, and didn't slow down till she conked out at night. Oh, conked out, that means she fell asleep. Look at her up here, sleeping on top of her dresser, and look at all the toys she left on the ground. Oh. Her parents were frazzled but tried not to freak, as Ada grew bigger and still did not speak. Clearly, young Ada, with thoughts in her head, would have something to say when it ought to be said. That's just what happened when Ada turned 3. She tore through the house on a fact finding spree and climbed up the clock just as high as she could. Her parents yelled, "Stop!" as all good parents would. Ada's chin quivered, but she did not cry. She took a deep breath and she simply asked, "Why? Why do you think we don't climb on top of clocks? Why does it tick and why does it talk? Why don't we call it a granddaughter clock? Why are there pointy things stuck to a rose? Why are there hairs up inside of your nose?" She started with why, then what, how, and when. By bedtime, she came back to why once again. She drifted to sleep as her parents smiled at curious thoughts of their curious child, who wanted to know what the world was about. They kissed her and whispered, "You'll figure it out." Her parents kept up with their high flying kid, whose questions and chaos both grew as she did. Even Miss Greer found her hands were quite full when young Ada's chaos wreaked havoc at school. But this much was clear about Miss Ada Twist: she had all of the traits of a great scientist. Oh, look at this experiment that she's doing, friends. She has all these bottles and they are spraying color up into the air. Oh, I can see the teacher looks very surprised and maybe a little worried, but I see all of the kids are very excited. Ada was busy that first day of spring, testing the sounds that made mockingbirds sing, when a horrible stench whacked her right in the nose, a pungent aroma that curled up her toes. "Zowie," said Ada, which got her to thinking, "what is the source of that terrible stinking? How does a nose know there's something to smell? And does it still stink if there's no nose to tell?" She rattled off questions and tapped on her chin. She'd start at the start, where she ought to begin. A mystery, a riddle, a puzzle, a quest. This was the moment that Ada loved best. Oh, she smelled something stinky, and now she's going to try to find out what it is. Ada did research to learn all she could of smelling and smells, both the stinky and good. One hypothesis Ada thought could be true: the terrible stink came from Dad's cabbage stew. She tested and tested, but soon Ada knew it was time to come up with hypothesis 2. A hypothesis is a guess that you make or a prediction. Wonder what her second hypothesis is going to be. Then zowie! The stink struck again just like that. Hypothesis 2. It was caused by the cat. The cat couldn't make much a stink on its own. It needed perfume and some fancy cologne. So young Ada tested. The test was a flop. She started again, but her parents yelled, "Stop!" Oh, look at that kitty. She's putting all sorts of smells on it. And then what is she going to do? Oh, I think she's going to put it in the washing machine. Do kitties go in the washing machine? They do not. Ada Marie, to the thinking chair now by the time we count 3. "Enough," said her mother. "That's it," said her dad. Her parents were frustrated, frazzled, and mad. "Why?" Ada questioned. Her mother said no. "What?" Ada queried. Her father said go. You ruined our supper. You made the cat stink. Enough with your questions. Now sit there and think. She looked at her parents. Her heart turned to goo. Poor Ada Twist didn't know what to do. Well, I see her family. They look very mad. And Ada, she looks very sad. She sat all alone by herself in the hall, and Ada once more could say nothing at all. I see she is still feeling very sad. And so Ada sat, and she sat, and she sat, and she thought about science, and Stu and the cat, and how her experiments made such a big mess. Does it have to be so? Is that part of success? Are messes a problem? And while she was thinking, what was the source of that terrible stinking? Ada Marie did what scientists do. She asked a small question, and then she asked two. And each of those led her to 3 questions more, and some of those questions resulted in 4. As Ada got thinking, she really dug in. She scribbled her questions and tapped on her chin. She started at why, then what, how, and when. At the end of the hall, she reached why once again. Uh-oh, I see Ada is writing on the walls. How do you think her family is going to feel about that? I think maybe they will not be very happy. We'll have to see. Her parents calmed down and they came back to talk. They looked at the hallway and just had to gawk. That means they were staring at it. No patch of bare paint could be seen on the wall. The thinking chair now was the great thinking hall. They watched their young daughter and sighed as they did. What would they do with this curious kid who wanted to know what the world was about? They smiled and whispered, "We'll figure it out." I see their faces. They don't look very happy that there is writing on their wall. And that's what they did, because that's what you do when your kid has a passion and a heart that is true. They remade their world. Now they're all in the act of helping young Ada sort fiction from fact. She asked lots of questions. How could she resist? It's all in the heart of a young scientist. And as for that smell, what can Ada Twist do but learn all she can with her friends in grade 2? Will they discover the stink that curls toes? Well, that is the question, and someday, who knows? Look, all of her friends are working together with her to figure out what makes that smell. And that's the end of our story. Friends, I just love that story because I love how Ada just tries as hard as she can to be a good scientist. I hope that you enjoyed my story, and I will see you again soon. Bye.